Good evening. How is everyone tonight? Thank you for joining me. As I put on my Facebook page, this big sign, sculpture actually, and it's carved the word hope. And I look like an itty bitty little ant underneath it. But what I said was that even though that sign is huge, God's hope is bigger and better. And He allows us to access it in a very intimate way. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight is accessing God's hope. We're going to talk about tragedy because there's been some lately. We're going to talk about how to get through that. And we're going to talk about just the promises that we have and the ability we have to get through. Welcome to Friday's Hope. This is Friday's Hope. My name is Sue, and I am one of the ministers at the Worship Center here in Illinois and the founder of Friday's Hope. We share hope for everyone, everywhere, that may be going through any type of situation. And that's our goal, that's our desire, to share hope with everyone, because there is hope. It doesn't have to be, people don't have to deal with life and tragedy in a way that'll harm themselves or others. And I know there's some major tragedies out there. I understand that. But there is hope, always. So recently, we've had to deal with the shooting death, Charlie Kirk, and another school shooting at Evergreen School in Denver. Then the next day, we honored those who died in the 9/11 attack at Twin Towers in New York in 2001. That's a lot of tragedy to digest in 2 days. First of all, I want to say I am so very sorry that all this happened to you all, that all of this, you have to deal with all this. I'm not going to talk about them, though. I'm going to talk about and share hope with you on how to get through these tough times and how to grow strong, how to grow more strength and more mental stability. There's a lot of tragedy, and I want to share, first of all, say I'm so sorry. But I want to also ask, so what do we do with all this? How do we keep our minds healthy? Because it can be an overload. It can be a huge overload. First of all, I believe keeping our minds and our mental health healthy is work. It is a work, just like we have to work at keeping our body healthy, or keeping or after we've had an illness or a surgery, we have to work at keeping ourselves healthy or build ourselves back up. I believe we have to work to keep our mind healthy after any tragedy. And here there's some suggestions I'm going to give that I know work because I do these things. I've had to do these things. I've had to deal with tragedy in many places and in many spaces. So I'm going to share some things with you. The first and foremost, and you all have heard me say this, turn off social media and the news. Please. Both continue to replay the tragedy over and over, playing the horrible parts of the tragedy, giving us their opinions, instilling in us how horrible it was. Well, duh, we already knew that. We already knew this was a difficult thing. We don't need it drilled into our mind over and over. And we don't need to read others' opinions, which are often controversial and argumentative. You know what they say about opinions, right? They're like armpits. Most everybody has them, and they usually stink. Opinions, in my thinking, are a reason to argue and criticize other ways of thinking. If you must be on a social media platform, follow positive sites, follow places that can give you hope, that can give you solutions. Follow people who are sharing positive things. And by the way, what are you listening to? So much of our TV, social media, podcast, videos are slanted to the person's thinking, and most of it doesn't help. A lot of it doesn't help. Listen to the positive things will help you heal and give you ideas on how to cope. Ideas that are proven by true professionals, ideas that are true, and they've been given to us by professionals. Change what you're listening to in your own head, too. What have you fed your mind? What are you telling yourself? What are your thought patterns? What are the things that come along? What are you telling yourself? I hope you can change your thoughts to positive thoughts about yourself and your situation. You can. The Battlefield of the Mind is a Joyce Meyer book. Absolutely amazing book. Buy it. I would tell you time and again to buy that book because it is absolutely amazing. Number 2, ask yourself, how do you feel right now? Be in the present with your personal self. It's important. When there's a tragedy going on, we have many times this thing where we take on this tragedy, or we end up being wrapped up in it. But let's be present with our personal self. Are we safe? Are our loved ones safe? Have we been harmed by this incident? Personally, physically, emotionally? If the answers to those questions are, I'm okay, then take a breath and take inventory of where you are and all that you have. Don't take that tragedy on yourself. Yes, it happened. I understand that, but you aren't part of it. You may have had nothing to do with it. The tragedy hits all the feels. I get that. But that is all. And your feelings don't carve out the way your life is. That's not truth. Feelings move and change. Don't plan your life on feelings. And then this next one, even though I said don't plan your feelings, it is important to know how you feel about the event. Anger, pain, fear, anxious, sadness, what are you feeling? Admit those feelings and decide how you're feeling. Good evening, Pastor Paulette, sorry. Wow. Admit how you're feeling. Be honest with yourself. Admit those feelings, then realize those are feelings and they don't rule your life. They don't have to rule your life unless we keep them in our head all the time. Start thinking on the good things in your life. Start looking for the good things in your life. Start praising and thanking God for the good things in your life. Put those feelings that you have, those feelings somewhere. Get rid of them. They are not true. They will just simply cause you to have grief and anxiousness. Give them to God. Talk to someone. Feelings will pass if we don't internalize them, if we don't keep meditating on them. Feelings pass. Give them to God. Talk to someone. Don't internalize them. It's okay to change your feelings from sadness or whatever to being happy. Some people feel guilty about that. Well, I shouldn't feel that way because so-and-so is struggling. No, it's okay to feel happy. And don't feel guilty that you are feeling better. And maybe others who are still struggling, you can help them by feeling better and giving them a different perspective. If you're around negative people all the time, you start to take that on. Change your feelings. Pay attention to them and then change them to being content and peaceful. There's a part of us, I believe, and this is going to be controversial, partially responsible for any tragedy. That part is neglecting to walk out our lives in love and love others. Don't argue. Don't criticize others or point out the things they do wrong. We all do things wrong. Hello. Don't use your tongue to cut people down. Remember the verse I always use, life and death are in the power of the tongue? We can live life to we can give life to ourselves and others simply by being kind. We can destroy others by cutting them down. If we want to see a better world, if we want to see a better place, start loving one another instead of being so critical about them. Start praying for them. Start accepting them. Start saying, you know what, that's okay. Help them. Help them through. Arguing and blaming others only brings more destruction. You know how you feel when somebody criticizes you, so why do the same to others? Why make other human beings feel terrible about themselves and their lives? And why cut them down just because they have a different color skin, a different lifestyle, they come from a different country, or they believe different from us? Has that helped anyone yet? Has that made anyone different? Has that fixed anything? No. It just leads to more violence, more anger. Jesus said, by your love, they will know you are my disciples. The word love appears 310 times in the Bible. I think God thinks it's important. Love one another. Encourage one another. Strengthen one another. And keep your mind on positive things. Number 5. This is one of the things that takes work. Our mind wanders to the strongest feeling you're having. And boy, it can explode and expand really badly. You have the power and the ability to think on things that are good and lovely and noble and honorable. And keep thinking that way, and you will produce new neural pathways that will keep firing the positive thoughts, and eventually the negative thoughts will quiet down if we don't feed them. Kind of like flowers and weeds. If we feed the weeds, they'll grow. If we feed the flowers and don't feed the weeds, guess what? The weeds die. That's what thinking positive and negative is like. Start thinking the positive thoughts. Eventually those negative thoughts will quiet down. If you have to, get a doctor, get some medicine. If you have to talk to a therapist or someone, do whatever it takes to turn your thoughts around. It's so important to do that. Psychologists tell us to avoid the use of alcohol and drugs. Yeah, I have a friend who's always very depressed, but she also struggles with alcoholism. And I don't know how to tell her she's adding to that depression. She has a beautiful home, she has money, she has family, but she's always so depressed. Well, if you gave up the bottle, that would help. And I know that's hard. I know it's hard to give up the alcohol or the drugs. I really understand that. But you will be so much better off mentally and physically if you do. Spend time with trusted friends and relatives who are supportive and positive. Hang out with those that are positive. Try to maintain routine for meals, exercise, and sleep. You know, I was dressed this morning to go to my fitness class, and I noticed my neighbor wasn't, and I went, uh-oh, and come to find out they didn't have the fitness class, so I will go out walking later on. But it's important that I keep moving, and it's important for you too to keep doing that. Set realistic goals and focus on what you can manage. That's a lot of information. I'm giving you a lot of thoughts, a lot of ideas, and I don't expect anybody to try and tackle all of that. But grab what you can tackle. And then when you're strong enough to do that, then grab something else. If you need to grab positive friends, great. Build your circle, build your friends. We have an amazing friend who's passed, but she said we have 3 levels of friends: the outer court, the inner court, and the Holy of Holies. And that Holy of Holies will only have a few in there because they're the ones that are going to help you stay level, stay happy. They're going to help you walk through life. They might be your prayer partner. They might be your friend. I don't know. But you build your family, your people around you, you know. You can still be friends with all the others, but maybe not as close. Just build your village, build your family. Whether it doesn't have to be biological, it can be somebody that just you feel good when you talk to them. I have several people like that. So you want to call them up and say, hi, how you doing? You don't want to call them up or text them or whatever, and all they do is complain and have struggles. That's not helping. You need to be supportive too. Even if you are helping them, you need to be supported as well. It really is important. And the Bible, God's love letter, tells us in Psalm 34:18, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and save those who are crushed in spirit. He will heal your broken heart. He will heal you, your mind. He loves you. He will help you through this. He's close to the brokenhearted. So you have somebody right there with you when you're going through heartache. Isaiah 41:10, which has been one of my foundational scriptures for a lot of years. Fear not, for I am with you. God says, do not be dismayed. And a lot of us know this, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. We've seen a lot of death, haven't we? I will fear no evil. We don't have to fear it. For you, God, are with me. We can walk through those things. We can walk through these tragedies because God's right there with us. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. He's going to help us. He's going to comfort us. He's going to walk right through the storm with us, time and again. Psalm 147:3, he heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. Jeremiah 29:11, this is the basic foundation for this ministry. I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future, even during the tragedy, even during the difficult times, even during the heartbreak, even during illnesses, even during whatever. That verse is still yes and amen. We may not understand the way God's working, but it is still a yes and amen. He knows the plans he has for us. He plans to prosper us and not harm us. And that word prosper not just means money, it means health. It means emotions. It means wholeness. It means mental health. And he plans to give you hope and a future. He'll do that. Ephesians 4:32, and I threw this in because I think it's a very important verse. Be kind and compassionate to one another. You know, if everybody was kind and compassionate to one another, we wouldn't have half the violence and struggles we have in our country. What would happen if everybody just simply decided they were going to be kind to one another? And here's the other one, forgiving each other. That is so important, to forgive people that have hurt you. It is amazingly important. It will help you grow. You're giving that mess and that person to God, and you're saying, you know what? I am not going to carry this around anymore. God, you deal with it. You deal with them. You take care of that situation, and God, come in and heal me. And when it comes back and you try and it wants to come back and you're starting to think about it and be angry, maybe angry or anxious about it again, Father, I forgive them and I give them to you. I'm going to let you handle this situation and help me through. It's just that easy. It isn't easy, but that does work. Forgiving each other just as in Christ God forgave you. Do you know God forgave you? Do you know all the bad things you've done? He forgives you. Yeah, because he loves you. He loves you. It's just that simple. God is love. Colossians 3:13, bear with each other. Bear with each other. Yes, people are frustrating, or maybe they're aggravating, or maybe they've done something wrong, but bear with them and forgive one another. If any of you has a grievance against someone, forgive as the Lord forgave. And that's the key. If you're struggling with somebody and you're upset with them for whatever, ask the Lord to help you forgive them. It really is a key, integral part of our life. It really is. And then Ephesians 4:8, and this is in the ESV version. Finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things, not the mess. The things that are lovely, the things that are excellent. Tragedy isn't lovely or excellent. It's true. Tragedy isn't pure. What tragedy isn't commendable. Think on those things that will help your mind grow and strengthen, and you'll be able to do these things. In the final chapter of his letter, Paul, to the church at Philippi, provides this list of positive qualities as a way to direct their minds and hearts away from negativity and towards what is good and uplifting. Cultivating a virtuous mindset, actively seeking and focusing on good things helps to crowd out unhelpful or harmful thoughts and fosters a more positive and God-honoring mindset. A practical guide for life. This exhortation serves as a practical guide for the Christian life, suggesting a way to manage one's thoughts, to align with one's God character. What better place to align our minds with than the perfect, loving God? Yeah, that's the best thing ever. By meditating on these virtuous things, believers are promised that the God of peace will be with them. He's with us, and he's giving us peace. Here's the last couple of things. Find a new normal. When tragedy happens, when things happen in our lives or in our country, find a new normal. I know a lot of people dealt with the school shooting. A lot of people dealt with losing that young man. But find a new normal. We need to rebuild our world without our past becoming our future. Let me say that again. We need to rebuild our world without our past becoming our future. Don't allow the past and those who hurt us to take up space in our world. Oh my goodness, how many times do I hear somebody talking about somebody that's hurt them and it was years ago? No, don't let them take up that space in your world. Let them go. Process the grief and the trauma. Fortify your new normal world. It's a building process. You know, your normal world, mine is I'm very content. I have a wonderful home. I have grandchildren, children, great-grandchildren. I have a wonderful ministry. I'm happy. I don't have to think about all that other stuff. People know that there is help out there for you. Understand there's help for you. If you're feeling upset, sad, angry, if you feel you want to hurt yourself or others, please reach out. Please reach out. Call 988. Contact your pastor, your doctor, the police, the mental health facility, someone. Call someone. I don't care who it is, call someone before you hurt yourself or others. Don't do that. Call someone. Reach out. There are plenty of places to reach out. Call on God. He's right there. Just call out to him for help and he'll help you and guide you. You don't have to keep living life depressed, angry, or anxious. There is an answer for you. Reach out, please. Reach out, please. You don't have to live like that. Appreciate you listening tonight. I'm praying for you. This replays on Friday's Hope Facebook page and YouTube. And I just hope that it'll bless you. Continue to see and think and renew your mind. It's an amazing thing. I'll see you next week. I'm praying for y'all. I love you. God bless you.